Hi, it's Hela from Dawn Emporium again. Just hide my little tag there. And hello, gorgeous. That was Scardy. You may see tail in a second. And today, well, tonight technically, I'm going to talk about Shapechangers because, well, Halloween. It's sort of like Halloween, only gingerer. Oh, Odin's just here now. Hello, gorgeous. So, the Shapechangers, they're in loads of scary stories, loads of mythologies, and they come in all different shapes and sizes and forms. In fact, European vampires are technically Shapechangers because they change into bats and things like that. But werewolves are another common one. So I want to talk about those, but there are different forms. And I want to talk about other ones because, let's face it, this is me and I like the world of mythology. Because European mythology just gets so overplayed between films and books and things like that, that especially in America and Europe, we forget about everyone else. So, here goes. Let's start with the first one that I can find. I'm going to go for the first of the European werewolves. A guy called Lycaon. My Greek is awesome. Right? Lycaon. So I'm going to say Lycaon. Probably completely wrong. And everyone who speaks Greek is probably making voodoo dolls of me right now. Now, he was a legendary king of Arcadia in ancient Greece. And his name is how we get the word lycanthropy, as in the ability to change from man into wolf. Now, ancient gods and kings were just a breed apart. By the way, do you like the ruffles on this? I put them away when they get in the way. Remember, I'm a smoker, fire risk, but I'm keeping them out because why not? Just go extra. So they were a bit extra gods and kings back in the day, and Lycaon was no different. And this was Greece, which means that Zeus was the head honcho of the gods. And Zeus had heard that Lycaon had a bit of a rep when he was down on earth having one of his little walks around, as he did. And for once, he wasn't in a woman's knickers. That was a bit of a shock. So he decided to disguise himself, go to Lycaon's place, and see if the rumours were true. So he disguises himself, dodgy tash, glasses, you know, full works. And says, look, I'm not Zeus, obviously I'm not. Look, dodgy tash and glasses. Let's have a bit of a bender. So Lycaon goes, yeah, why not? You don't look like Zeus. Well, we'll break out good wine and cheese, have a bit of a bender. Now, all goes well, and then Lycaon starts to think, maybe this guy could be Zeus. Look, his moustache is melting in the heat for the dancing. Yeah, obviously I am taking the mick with the dodgy tash and glasses. And so he decides to test Zeus to see if he really is the god. Now, Lycaon had a taste for a certain meat. Yeah, it's never a good thing. And he decides to offer Zeus some of this meat, and if he ate it, then he wasn't Zeus, and if he didn't eat it, then he was obviously Zeus, because he'd know what the meat was. So he brings out some of this meat, well, probably get somebody else to bring out some of this meat, and Zeus is like, no, I'm not eating that. So Lycaon's there going, why? Why won't you eat some of this meat? So she's like, are you on drugs, mate? This is human. Yes, you had that right. Lycaon ate human. He was a cannibal. I told you he was extra. And Lycaon's like, oh, what are you on about? It's my favourite meat. Oh, it's the best bit here. Tasty. And Zeus was like, no, I'm not having any of this. So, ancient god style, he loses his head. I'm going to have to turn over now for some of the names. So, Zeus loses it. Big time, ancient god style. And as he loses it, he sets off a thunderstorm to begin with, and a rainstorm. Now, the rainstorm causes a flood, known locally as Helawe'en's flood. Now, this is one of several known causes for Helawe'en's flood. That's what it's known as in Greece. Most people who have ever been near a Bible will know it as Noah's flood. It's got lots of names from lots of different histories. So, it's raining lots, 40 days, 40 nights, but there's also lightning going on. And this lightning strikes down 50 of Lycaon's sons. Yes, Zeus is that peeved. But that isn't enough for Zeus. Lycaon has tried to get him to commit cannibalism. And so he turns him into a wolf. And that way he can spend the rest of his days eating humans like the animal that he truly is. And there we have it. The first Lycaon, the first person who had lycanthropy committed to them, and the father of lycanthropy, Lycaon, king of Arcadia. And yeah, don't annoy Zeus. What a fun one. So that's our first shape changer, and we've got the start of, well, the earliest story I can find for European werewolves out of the way. The next one, I can't find any actual tales for, like direct tales. And there's a reason for this. The next one are skinwalkers. Now, these are an Indigenous American type of shapeshifter. And they are witches who, how would you put it, take on the bodies of usually tricksters and harbingers of doom and death. They take on their spirits, they swap spirits with them, so their human bodies will start acting like animals, and the animal bodies that the human consciousness has taken over will start acting suspiciously, start attacking humans when normally they wouldn't, and over time the consciousnesses will meld more. So even when the witch, they're a type of witch, I'll explain more in a second, is in their human form, they will start acting, say they normally turn into a coyote or coyote, I'm not sure how you say it, they'll start acting more like a coyote even when they're a human, because they've spent that long in that form, which is one of the ways you can see them. Skinwalkers happen because when you are training to become a medicine person, right, I'm saying medicine person because that's easier than saying medicine man, woman, or two-spirit. Okay, so when you are training to become a medicine person, you have to learn all about the good and the evil of everything. Okay, so you've got to learn about plants, mushrooms, fruits, vegetables, stones, watercourses, everything, everything. And that includes the good and the bad. So, as you know, you don't just go walking through woods picking mushrooms, because some are edible, some will make you high, and some will make you die. And not only that, some of the edible ones will be growing on trees or plants or other things that, because the mushroom, an edible mushroom, is growing on a certain tree, say, and it is feeding off that tree, and that tree is poisonous, an edible mushroom will then be poisonous. Things like that. And because they know the good and the bad, they have turned to the bad side, which makes them the witches, whereas the medicine people are always on the good side. And medicine people can also swap spirits, but they tend to protect you. So say you've got a medicine woman who likes you, and you go for a walk in the woods, and there's also a skinwalker who doesn't like you. So there you are, you're going for a walk in the woods and you think you're on your own, and some lady has decided that she likes you in the village that you've just walked through, and she wants to keep her eye on you. And you keep thinking that you're being followed, and it's like every now and then you just, out the corner of your eye, you see a wolf, and you're sure this wolf is following you, and has been for a good few miles now. It's just like, why is that wolf following me? And then you keep walking, and then suddenly a coyote comes out of nowhere, and it's aggressive and it's growling, and it tends to be larger than a standard coyote, and they're quite scary creatures if you're not used to them or not expecting them. And it is in your face, and it is being nasty, and it is growly, and it is very, very not nice, rabid, and it is trying to attack you. That would be the skinwalker coming to you. Then suddenly the wolf, which would be the medicine woman that I mentioned before, would come around and attack the skinwalker. I'm just using this as a way to, by the way, explain it to people who have absolutely no idea the fight of good and evil, so that you can get away because you're only on two legs, you're a bit slow, and then she can get away quick before the skinwalker comes. Right? Now I know Indigenous Americans all over are going, what are you doing? But I have to put it in simple terms that pale and pasties like me will get. And I know it's not that simple, it's not that easy, and the situation I've just said is not likely to happen, probably. But you've got to make things into nice, easy little tales of good and evil, haven't you? Which brings me on to my next one. Nanaue. I've decided to call him Nanaue. It makes sense in my head, and I'm probably killing it in the worst possible way. Sorry to every Hawaiian ever. So, Nanaue isn't a type of shapeshifter. He is a singular shapeshifter from history, mythology, depending on how you want to look at it. Well, I say he as if he's a man, but he isn't just a man. He's a shark man, merman. I'm going to have to actually read this story. It's quite a cool one. So, it's the names that get me. I'm sorry. By the way, for every Hawaiian word, I actually say, because I'm going to murder it. Nanaue is the son of Kamalei, the Shark King, and Kalei, a maiden from Waipio Valley on Hawaii Island. He was born a seemingly normal baby that I can find, but his mum, Kalei, noticed that he had a fish mouth on his back in childhood, so she decided to hide it and make him hide it so that nobody actually realised that he was part shark. Kamalei warned Kalei not to feed Nanaue meat. But when he grew older, she let him try meat, which was a big mistake. So after trying meat for the first time, Nanaue had an overwhelming hunger for flesh. He began eating the townsfolk when they went swimming by the shore of Waipio. And they realised that this shark was coming and attacking the townsfolk. But whenever Nanaue was out swimming, it never attacked him. In fact, whenever he went out swimming, he'd disappear and the shark would turn up. So they realised that he was the shark that was attacking people. So they got together to kill him, and he escaped. And when he escaped, he hightailed it to Maui. In Maui, Nanaue married a chiefess. So gold stars to him. And he tries to go back to being vegetarian, but the urge for meat is just too strong. So he ends up in front of witnesses, which is the most stupid thing to doing, attacking a maiden in the village where he's living in Maui. So, strangely enough, the villagers all gang up, going to kill him, and he manages to escape again. So, he runs away, swims away, and ends up on the island of Molokai. Sorry, I'm not sure how to say it again. He tried to hide his true identity and bloodlust, but by this point, all the islands, you've got to think these are seafaring people, all the islands knew the story of Nanaue and the shark that was going around killing the islanders. So they were all on the lookout for any strangers, because you've got to think this was before Snapchat by a long shot. And they were looking out for any strangers and any shark attacks. So he manages to hide for a while and keep it on the down low. And then he's changing back into his human form from his shark form one day. And one or some of the townsfolk catch him mid-transition and scream for help and backup. And so the townsfolk of wherever he was living in Molokai, I'm not sure if that is a village or an island. Well, he says it's an island, but I don't know if there's a village there named after the island or what. I'm sorry, I don't know. So all the townsfolk came out and beat him to death with clubs. All because he was allowed meat. So, bit of a lesson in being a vegetarian there. Now, in these stories, in some stories, he just has a sharp mouth on his back. In others, he has very shark-like features, like a human body and a shark head, that kind of thing. And in later stories, he changes from a human to a shark and back again. So it depends what story you read as to how much he changes from human to shark. Now, this is just 3 shape changes. I could carry on forever, but people have lives, and we all know that I'm a waffler. This is only the 2nd time I've done this video though, so I'm doing all right. So yeah, I just love these creatures of the day, night, and everything in between. And how different and imaginative they are, but at the same time how similar they all are. All over the world, completely different people at completely different times in their history have such similar creatures attacking them. You know, a water-faring people are going to have sharks attacking them. Whereas people who live in forests are going to have wolves attacking them. Whereas people who live everywhere from the plains to the mountains to the forests are going to have different creatures attacking them. So the skinwalkers cover everything depending on what your local witch is going to take over this week. So to me, it's just amazing how they all have common threads, but they are also totally different. And that's just 3 out of dozens. Absolutely love them. And I'll probably book you with more next year, and probably some more at another time. This is me. I'll get bored. Have fun, know your power, and happy Halloween. Bye.